Hey guys, thanks for requesting your strategy session. So, understanding that this is what we call a business cycle. And why is a business cycle important? It's important just for me to understand exactly where you're at in the cycle so I can give you the best advice possible. Every business has this kind of cycle. We have an ideas phase. Well, if you're in business, then we're pre-launch, so that's the ideas phase. We don't need that on that slide. However, that launch phase is that launch point where we start. We have to put in a lot of work, we have to put in a lot of effort to be able to get it moving. We've got the hustle or the sprint stage where we're just working all day, every day to be able to get it going with limited return. This is what it takes to be able to get a business off the ground. What we're trying to do is get through that stage so that we get to that break-even point. So we're making as much money as it costs to run our business. In the fitness industry, that's quite low, which is good. It's just number one is the rent that we need to pay. We need to get to that point first, and then we need to get to the break-even point in terms of our personal expenses, which is just like our home rent, our food, our insurance, all things of that nature, to be able to get to that break-even point as soon as possible. We then move into the steady stage where we've got steady growth. We're getting some results, however, we're still needing to put in a lot of effort for that. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to that growth stage where we're consistently getting leads, consistently coming in. Our business is consistently growing in terms of, I guess, the income that we're getting and the impact that we're having. What happens then is the majority of people can go through that growth phase. However, then they move into the stale and static phase. They might be just maintaining. They might be at their cap. They might be doing 40 sessions a week because that's all that they can do. Ultimately, what happens is if we get to this point, then we're risking moving into this point, and we're only very much playing the defensive game. If we're only playing the defensive game, what happens is over a period of time, we eventually lose. We eventually have a drop off where we start to have that downgrade. We drop a client, our income drops, our impact drops. These are the things that we need to take into account. If that continues over a long period of time, what then happens is we potentially get back to that break-even point again, which is not necessarily what we want. We want to ensure that we don't get into that life support point, because if the longer we're in this, there's the highest likelihood that we're going to drop out of the industry and out of business. So the majority of people that I work with are in this kind of phase, this stale and static phase. They've got a good income. They're consistently dropping down or up, up, down, up, down, up, down. They get more or less of the same results in terms of the financial return of their business, the impact that they have. The goal is to be consistently in this growth phase, and to be consistently in the growth phase, what we need in reality is a system where we're consistently innovating, consistently adapting our business to consistently progress. Because if we're just, for an example is if we're a one-on-one trainer and we can only work 40 sessions a week, then we have a capped income in terms of doing that. What we need to do is we need to create systems where we consistently evaluate where our business is at and when to adjust what we're doing, because ultimately we need to see ourselves as someone that transforms people's lives. If we see ourselves as just a personal trainer, then that's all that we do. We need to be able to look outside the box for other ways to be able to expand our business, to be able to innovate, to be able to create systems in our business that we can increase our impact, because if we increase our impact on people, then we're going to increase our income automatically. So before we catch up for our coaching call, what I want you to do is you want to determine where you sit on this scale currently, because where you sit is going to determine the best advice that I can give you. It's completely different advice if you're in steady or growth or stale or static or at a break-even point. It's completely different advice. Some of the principles are going to remain the same. However, the strategies are going to completely change based on where you're at in your business. That's why it's extremely important for you to be able to take the time to go through this and determine where you're at. Communicate that with me so I know exactly where we're at, so we can get you the best plan of attack going forward. And I'm really excited for you to be able to jump on this call, to be able to have me help you with your business, and I'm looking forward to being able to share the best strategies for wherever you sit on this scale. So thanks for taking the time to be able to jump on this call with me, and I'm really looking forward to helping you.